Let's dive right into it because the situation between Israel and Hamas just took another massive turn. I'm Yaakov Langer, and this is Real Israel News, bite-sized big news in Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yisrael Katz have officially ordered the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, to escalate military operations against Hamas in Gaza, marking the official end of the ceasefire. This escalation follows 3 weeks of unsuccessful negotiations where Israel repeatedly tried in good faith to secure the release of the hostages. Hamas, however, rejected every reasonable offer presented by the U.S. presidential envoy Steve Witkoff and other mediators. Overnight, Israel launched a significant surprise airstrike named Strength and Sword, involving dozens of combat unmanned aircraft targeting Hamas infrastructures, weapons caches, warehouses, and critical terrorist assets across the Gaza Strip. Palestinian sources report at least 412 fatalities and over 500 injuries, though these numbers have not yet been independently verified or validated. Historically, these sources have rapidly issued casualty numbers that require scrutiny. For instance, Palestinian journalist Mohammed Smurri claimed 109 children were killed mere minutes after the strike, a claim that raises questions due to the logistical impossibility of accurately identifying and counting victims so quickly. Many former hostages, including Yardi Bibas, have expressed concern over the current strikes, emphasizing firsthand knowledge of the fear he felt during the chaos while being held in the tunnels. A scary reminder that we have 59 hostages who are so close to being back home and have to live through this all. Many across Israel are urgently calling for immediate action to safely bring all hostages home. Crucially, the IDF has confirmed the successful elimination of 10 senior Hamas operatives, including 5 top commanders, such as senior official Atzam Dialas, notoriously referred to as the king in Israel's deck of senior Hamas figures. Hamas is now reportedly looking for a new leader, though applicants should know it's a short-term gig with literally explosive retirement benefits. Now, adding regional complexity, the United States is now actively engaged against Houthi and Iranian targets. Meanwhile, tensions are boiling over elsewhere in the region as Hezbollah and Syrian leadership have escalated their conflict significantly, creating a volatile regional landscape. In response to the renewed fighting, Israel's Home Front Command updated guidelines announcing the closure of schools in the Gaza border area. Additionally, evacuation orders were issued for Gazans living near the Israeli border. Politically, this escalation has also domestic implications for Israel, as Itamar Ben-Gvir announced his readiness to rejoin Netanyahu's government just moments before a critical vote on the state budget, following Netanyahu's declaration about resuming operations in Gaza. Israeli leaders emphasized that military actions will continue to increase until Israel's primary objectives, particularly the safe return of all hostages, living or deceased, are fully accomplished. Now, there are already indications from Arab media this morning that Egypt and Qatar are exerting pressure on Hamas to consider releasing a number of hostages in exchange for an immediate ceasefire. It's important to stress that literally all of this conflict could have ended as early as October 8th and could have avoided this new wave of fighting if Hamas would agree to any of Israel's phase 2 offers over the last 3 weeks and not repeatedly refused every single reasonable offer presented to them for the release of the hostages. The ongoing loss, fear, and suffering could have been avoided entirely, yet Hamas chooses to prolong the crisis, prioritizing terror over peace and civilian safety. The consequences of these choices are now tragically unfolding, underscoring the critical need for immediate and decisive action to bring all hostages home and restore peace and security to the region. A strange video of a horse pulling a bunch of Palestinians on a wagon makes you think, where was all that money that was given to the Palestinian Authority? And you realize that it was all put towards the terror tunnels that was built. And you could clearly see they even lacked bomb shelters, which is something essential in the Middle East, but they definitely put their priority towards terror rather than helping the actual civilians. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree with the current strike. Be sure to subscribe wherever you are watching so you can be the first to get the latest on this week in Israel. We'll keep tracking the major developments closely as the situation evolves. Stay tuned.